those days. And so the Bible was used against us regularly. And I used to talk about engaging in what I called Bible boxing, and that is you hit me with a scripture and I will hit you with one. And I said it's pointless, it gets us nowhere. So if one is going to talk about the Bible, I would say don't quote pieces out of context, but let's look at the entire text and what the message is. This is true not only of the Christian scriptures, but of the sacred texts of many traditions. They can all be abused and misused by taking things out of context. We need to look at the big picture and say, what is the primary message? So I will not be up here today quoting you scripture, chapter and verse on various scriptures, even though 50 times in the first 5 books of the Old Testament alone, there is reference made to the stranger within your midst. Even though throughout the scripture, there are cautions, there are commandments to welcome the stranger, welcome the one, the foreign one who is in your land. Make them feel welcome, make them feel at home. I will not quote that. I'm not even going to quote the wonderful passage where Jesus talks about when we welcome a stranger, it's as if we're welcoming God's self. So I'm not going to talk about any of those. I'm going to talk about just the overlying message, and I feel like I'm being an apologist for all of Christendom here to say the message of Christianity is a message of love and acceptance. And scriptures have been used against so many people. Our LGBTQ friends could tell us all about that, how scriptures have been misused to subvert this message of love and justice and acceptance. So today I am actually going to break my own statement, and I'm going to quote one verse of scripture, and that's from the Gospel of John, chapter 11, verse 35, where we read, Jesus wept. And when we see what is going on, when we see what is happening in our name as Americans, we know that not only do we weep, but Jesus weeps. And Jesus, God, whatever your faith, whatever your motivation is, however you will be called on to answer, is going to be looking to us to be the ones who raise our voices, who make the difference, who make this change, so that not only will Jesus not be weeping, but the children and the parents will no longer be weeping. I just leave you with that thought, and also with the thought as we consider the work that's ahead of us, consider what's being done. May God have mercy on us all.